Hi, I'm Victoria, and if you're new to this channel, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. Today I'll be answering questions that you guys have about a criminology degree, which I am currently in the process of getting. Most of these questions have been found via my comment section or Instagram DMs. A few of you guys have Instagram DM me about it. And if you want, you can also connect with me on Instagram if any other questions you have. My username is vic.rose14. The first question I have is, how do I study, how long do I study, and if I study alone or with a group of friends. For the most part, I do study alone. I have found that studying alone helps me focus easier, but I will also say that studying in a group of your peers is definitely beneficial right before an exam, especially if there are some terms or concepts you are uncertain about. It'll definitely help you iron those out. And as for how long I study, usually for an exam, I'll study for 8 to 10 hours total. And that'll include redefining terms I've learned throughout the semester, thinking of examples to match along with concepts, rewriting all my notes, that kind of thing. Pretty basic studying stuff, honestly. This is just what works for me though. It might be totally different for you. Someone asked me what course was my favorite so far that I've taken, and I'll answer that with saying criminal justice system. In my school, that course is basically learning all about the Canadian criminal justice system, from the police to the courts, the correctional facilities. It was all super insightful, and honestly, I feel like everybody at some point should have that knowledge and take that class if they were given the opportunity to, because I feel like it's very useful information to possess and has a lot of real-world application and practical uses. I was also asked what kind of topics to self-study before you begin the degree, and self-study is basically like prior research you do before you start your criminology degree. And I would say it's not necessarily required that you do this. I didn't do it and I was fine. I feel like it would definitely be beneficial to have some sort of vague background about the topics that we are going to study. Some things that I would recommend based on my school, what I've learned, is looking at Karl Marx, the conflict theory, looking at Cesar Lombroso and his theory of a born criminal, which is literally insane. It's kind of funny if you just want to search it up, even if you're not doing criminology. It's literally ridiculous. It's also very important to know the different reasonings as to why people commit crimes, different theories about biological, psychological, sociological reasons as to why people do what they do. That's something that's very pounded heavily into us as criminology students, at least at my school. This, of course, is not an exhaustive list, but honestly, you don't even need to do it in the first place. This is just to get familiar with the subject matter. Another popular question I've gotten is what the exams and assignments are like, and for the most part, most of the assignments have been research papers, which consist of going through sources, finding answers to the questions that you have, and applying them into a long form essay, which tedious but also pretty easy for the most part. And as for exams, most of my exams have been roughly 2 to 3 hours, and on that exam I had about a couple questions asking me to define a term or concept and apply an example to it, or why it's important that we know this term or concept, and then I'll have some kind of essay question where I'll need to apply the knowledge I've already learned, but also apply any outside examples, etc. And lastly, the most frequently asked question I have is about criminology master's degrees and what I can do with the degree, or what career paths you can have. And I'm gonna be 100% honest, I don't plan on getting a master's in criminology as of right now. That's just not what I necessarily want to do. But from what I've gathered in the research that I have done, I have found that most master's programs in Ontario are about 2 years, and they're very, very research heavy. The most work you're going to do is definitely going to be research driven. That's really all the information I have. As for careers or jobs, some career paths that you can take if you have a criminology degree would be police work, and furthermore detective work later on. You can be a counselor. You can work in loss prevention in the private sector. You can be a private investigator. You can be a corrections officer. But yeah, just a quick Google search, you'll find out a ton of careers you can do in the criminological field. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you found it helpful and informative, please consider giving me a like or subscribing, and if you have any questions, you can either leave them down below in the comments, or you can message me on Instagram. I'll probably get back to you quicker on Instagram just because I'm on there a little bit more frequently, and you can find all that information down in the description. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day or night wherever you are.